Hi, grade sevens. How you doing? Hope everything is a-okay. So today, following on from our resisting peer pressure video last week, we are looking at the effects of peer pressure and peer abuse, which is a very real thing. And our info today comes from page 63 to 65 of your textbook. The first thing I want you to do is to write down your terminology from page 63. We have 3 new words today. Word number 1, negotiation. Negotiating is when you talk something out in an attempt to reach an agreement between the two opposing parties, groups, people. Then irrational. Irrational, so IR is a prefix that means not. Irrational, not rational, not reasonable, not logical. And our third word is conflict, which is a state of disagreement between two or more people. So basically an argument. Okay, so when we negotiate, we want to actually disagree with a person in a respectful and constructive way. Now, what does constructive mean? It means you're building something positive out of the experience. And what are you building? You're building an agreement of an agreement where you come to a solution or a compromise or decision to just agree to disagree, but to end the conflict. Now, before we go to look at page 64 at a flow chart, I want to talk about ways that you do not want to negotiate, just following on from last year's negotiating skills. Okay, you don't want to shout, you don't want to raise your voice. So basically remain calm. It's the same as when we were talking the other day about communicating. You need to remember not to be aggressive, not to attack the person, their personality, their character. You're simply disagreeing on something. You're not attacking them. You're not name calling. You're not swearing. You are simply discussing. Okay, it's not an argument. It's no who can speak the loudest. It's no gesture pointing into someone's face. None of that. All right. Let's go look at the flow chart on page 64 of your textbook. Now here it says create a flow chart for at least 2 successful negotiations, showing the path your discussion took. Look at the example below. When you create your own flow chart, copy the style of the chart and the titles below, but add your own information. So I'm going to make one change there. I'm going to say you're going to do 1 successful negotiation flow chart, and I'll show you where the 5 choices are that you can pick from. Okay, so here we've got, you must have these, you see there, page 64, you must have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks or bubbles or rectangles, however you want to do them, little clouds with arrows from the one to the next, to the next, to the next. That's why it's called a flow chart, because each thing flows into the next. Okay, so in this case, what I wanted to achieve is your first heading. Example, staying up an hour later than my usual school night bedtime to watch a dance show. Flow chart. Who I negotiated with. In this case, my mother. Next heading, the initial response, the first response, and reasons why. My mother wasn't too pleased about it. She said I would be too tired to get out of bed in the morning and then would rush through breakfast and packing my stuff, and that I would then be tired at school. Arrow to the next bubble. Next heading, how I negotiated with a positive outcome. I agreed to pack my bags and lunchbox for school before the program started to save time in the morning. Well, yeah, I'm not going to agree there with the lunchbox part. I would probably say I'm going to agree to pack my bags and put a little post-it on my bag to say fetch my lunch from the fridge. Because we don't want any of those sour cream, dips, cheesy sandwiches, ham, roll, hot dog staying overnight in your bag. Can you just imagine? Hello, cockroaches. Hello, ants. Hello, bacteria. Welcome to my polony home. Yeah, remember the days when we were scared of polony and there wasn't corona. Nostalgic times. Then also says, I also put out my uniform. I promised I would still get enough sleep and that she would not have to fight with me to get up in the morning. Arrow to the next heading and bubble outcome. I jumped out of bed in the morning and my mother didn't even mention the late night. I think I might be able to negotiate again next week. Whoop, whoop, successful outcome. So negotiation usually disagreeing, and then something sways each side to come to a solution or a compromise, or someone gets what they want. Okay, so that's page 64. Then we are going to look, you can choose from 5 different scenarios. And I don't know why I stopped sharing the screen. Let's go back to the textbook, page 65 and the top of 66. And you're going to choose one of those 5 scenarios, okay? And remember, when you disagree, you're not getting personal, you're not mocking anyone's beliefs, you're not mocking their ideas, you're using I statements. I feel like. Okay, so sorry about that. I'm just going to resume. With our textbook. So there were your scenarios. There's your flowchart. There are the things that I spoke about when disagreeing. And then here are the first 3 situations you can choose from. First one, you want to go out to a movie with a friend that your parents do not like very much. Second one, you want to stop playing a sport in which your parents have invested time and money for you to play until now, or possibly some other hobby like archery, piano lessons. You need 2 extra days to complete a school project. Oh, they're going to be negotiating with your teacher. Okay. And then on the next page, there's the other 2 choices. You want to watch a program on television that is not advisable for your age group. Well, good luck with that one, because I don't think any parent's going to come to a, yes, my lovey, you can watch this PG-18 program, but you can try. You need money to buy a new game for your friend, a new game that your friends have been raving about. Okay, so you are going to pick one of those 5 situations, and you're going to make a flowchart exactly like the flowchart on page 64. Same bubbles, arrows, same headings. Don't draw the whole flowchart at once. You don't know how big your little bubbles are going to be or how much writing you're going to do. It's like when you make a table, just do one part at a time. Finish your bubble. So write, make the bubble around it, do the arrow. Write, make the bubble around it, do the arrow. Remember, each one is a heading, and you can use all the color that you want to make it look fabulous. Okay, so from me, that's what you're doing this week. And hopefully you have started to be more assertive and standing up for yourself against peer pressure. And here we are learning how to negotiate with friends, parents, teachers, mostly your parents in this case. So good luck, guys. You might even want to choose, I'm going to say there could be a sixth choice, something that you're already wanting to negotiate with your parents with. That's not on the list of 5. Okay, so that's also possible. And you're doing that in your book under the date and heading negotiating. Please spell it correctly. So from me, that is it. Cut. Love you lots.